Okay, so this is going to be a Vinyasa flow that works in Dolphin a lot into the flow. And if in the flow you wish to kick up into pincha that will be an option. And I will give you some specific cues that might help you find it within the flow. But even if you don't catch it in the flow, we'll have a section at the end for inversions where we will work pincha and we'll do a couple drills at the wall to help you really get strong in that position, and then you can practice kicking up. And then we'll also work on forearm scorpion for our back bends.
Bring your forearms to the floor and trap the elbow with your block. Trap the trap the block with your elbows. All right, squeeze the block, push into your hands, and lift the block off the floor. We're going to do 10. So tap the block to the floor and lift up. Tap to the floor. You can stay in quadruped, or you can walk the knees back and make it a little bit more like a kneeling plank, or you can do this in full plank. Keep trapping the block, pulling the elbows to the midline. I think we got like 5 more. Try to tap the floor, really squeezing the elbows to the midline. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Now keep the block, grab your strap. Boy, I'm using the strap a lot more than I thought. You do need a strap for this class. Okay, keep the block trapped between your elbows and grab the strap between your hands. Okay, now push your elbows into the block and pull apart on the strap with your hands. And we're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds, okay? And you can stay here with it, or as applicable to pincha, start to lift the block. You're probably not gonna get the block all the way overhead, but that's okay. Keep squeezing the block and pulling apart on the strap. You got 20 more seconds. Breathe. Find your ujjayi breathing here. Can you breathe into the back ribs? And find some sense of equanimity, even as your arms start to shake. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release that. Set the strap aside. Set the block aside. Come to downward facing dog. So notice how much longer your arms feel all of a sudden when you can straighten them and you're not squeezing a block between the elbows. It's kind of a nice sensation. Push the hips up and back. All right, now gaze between your hands. Corkscrew your hands into the mat. Your right hand as if there were a pickle jar that you needed to dial clockwise, and your left hand as if there was a pickle jar you needed to open counterclockwise. And then you're going to start to bend your elbows towards the mat, trying to squeeze them towards the midline as if you had to squeeze the block. And then straighten your arms back to down dog. Pull the elbows to the midline, tap the elbows down, push the arms straight. That was 3. We're going to do 3 more. And that was 2. We're going to do 3 more. Here's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. Push the floor away from you. Get nice and long in your down dog. You're going to bring your feet to the floor and work your elbows kind of, you're in this weird little kind of child's pose variation. All right, now you're going to push into the tops of your feet, lean forward and drag your knees up your triceps. We're going to do 10 of them. Okay, so push, drive into the tops of the feet, lift your knees as high up the triceps as you can get them. That's 2. Here's 3. Maybe walking your knees a little closer. Here's 4. Here's 5. Try not to let the shoulders sink towards the floor. Push the floor away. Keep rounded through the back. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Baby crow. Now you're really ready for it. Okay, so I like to start on my feet for baby crow to get to advantage getting as high up my short little T-Rex arms as I can. All right, and then get your knees into crow position. So squeezing a little bit into the outer arm, or you can try to get them up into the armpit all the way. And then tip yourself forward, set your forearms down, Keep going. Your nose will be close to the floor. And maybe hover one foot, then the other foot. Try to round through the back. Breathe. Take a few breaths there. Give it a couple tries. Maybe if you only lifted one foot, lift the other one. Alrighty, and then step back. Dolphin pose. From dolphin, lift your right leg. Inhale and open your right hip. Maybe you come up onto the right fingertips. Maybe you stay there. Or maybe you spin onto the left outer edge of the foot and slowly bring the right toes to the floor behind your left leg. And then lift the hips to like a forearm foot dog. Inhale here. Push the floor away with your forearm. Don't let your shoulders sink. On your next exhale, look at the floor. Set your right forearm down. Draw your right leg through and under. Fallen triangle on your right forearm. Push into that forearm. So there's lots of space through the shoulder. Feel the right shoulder blade tucking under the right side of your chest and lifting your chest from there. Inhale here. Exhale. Set your left hand down. Push into your right hand. Bring your right knee to your right tricep. Step your right foot forward. Come up to Vira 2. Sink through the hips. Try to sink your left inner thigh towards the floor, so don't let your hips tip this way. Sink your left inner thigh towards the floor to even your hip points out with the floor. Arms out to a T, gaze over your right fingertips. Corkscrew your right foot into the floor as if you could spin the heel in, toes out, and use that to feel the outer right hip turn on, and that should help you line the knee up with the right foot. All right, inhale, and bring your arms towards Gomukhasana arms with the right elbow up. And then exhale and switch. Inhale. So you're not binding, it's just like a really reaching. Try to reach the hands towards each other. Maybe you can tickle your fingertips, maybe not. All right, and then the next time your right elbow is up, reverse warrior with Gomukh arms. Bound or unbound, I don't really mind either way. Get some length from your right elbow through your right hip. Start to straighten through the right leg. Keep weight in the right heel. Tip yourself forward to triangle pose with these Gomukhasana arms. And then reach right arm forward, left arm back. And can you switch your Gomukh arms here so that your left elbow's up, right elbow's back. And then reach with your left elbow. Keep dragging the right heel back towards the left foot to really keep the legs turned on here. If you can't find the right hamstring, bend your right knee just a little bit so you can find the action there. Breathe deeply. Good. And then come back to Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, Parsva Konasana, yogi's choice for hand placement. You can even maybe do some arm circles with the top hand and just like kind of use this pose to get a little bit of a release from all the shoulder work. And then eventually come to stillness. Reach the left arm overhead, gaze at the left fingertips, push into the outer edge of the left foot, get long through the body, sink through the hips. Now, turn your left heel in, bend through both knees, start to come back towards the back of your mat, Skandasana at the back of your mat. We're going to take a little adventure. Come to lunge over your left knee. Inhale here. Exhale, push into your hands, one-legged chaturanga. Inhale, come back up. Left knee to nose, step the left knee forward. Back to Skandasana. Back to Warrior 2. Facing the front of your mat. We're going to do that cycle 2 more times. Come to Skandasana. Lunge at the back of your mat. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, knee to nose. Step the left foot forward, Skandasana. Push back up to Vira 2. One more, Skandasana. Lunge. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, knee to nose. Skandasana. Vira 2. Take a couple breaths. If you're bringing the right arm overhead, let's get Gomukhasana arms here Bind if you can, grab a strap if you can't. Bind up. Really lifting the right elbow to the ceiling. Spinning your left shoulder back. And then spin your hands to the floor. Plant your hands. You can handstand vinyasa or step back, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Handstanding, legs. Legs, legs, legs. Lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Forearms down. Inhale here. So, if you're working on your, on floating up more into pincha rather than kicking and feeling a little out of control maybe with the kicking action, you can try a single leg pincha press, okay? So you can use your block for this and use the wall for comfort, but you actually want to be a little bit farther from the wall. You don't want to be all the way against the wall because the leg that's pulling you up into pincha is going to go up and over to counterbalance the other leg, okay? So you want to be a little bit farther from the wall, and then you'll bring your forearms to the floor, okay? You set your block, you have to fiddle with how far back the block is, okay? And then you step, work through the hands into the floor, pull the elbows to the midline, find the shelf of power, find that action, you'll feel it turn on behind your armpits, okay? And then you can step up onto a block, which gets you a little bit higher, okay? You can also stack 2 blocks or use a chair, okay? And then just tip your weight forward, gaze between your thumbs, and use the top leg to float up. Notice how strong that top leg was, okay? If that feels impossible with the straight leg, you can try either a puppy variation, which is puppy press, is like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant, okay? And you can press up like that. Or you can do what I call a scorpion press, which if your hips aren't very mobile, then this is a very good solution. It would be, step up onto the block, this leg goes up, and then you bend this leg. Bending, it brings more weight over your hands, and it may allow you to float up a little easier. And then you just straighten the legs at the top, okay? So, give one of those options a try. And again, attention to the feet. Kick up as lightly as you can to the wall. Now we're gonna start scorpion with straight legs. So finding the back bend first. Push into your forearms and pull, keep your legs straight, pull your head forward. So you're looking like your forehead might even touch the block, right? But you're trying to find the back bend from that spot where the strap was, okay? And you can get lower than you think. You always think you're kind of done, but you can keep going as long as it doesn't get into your lower back. So think about that Pez dispensing action of the block, keeping the legs straight as long as you can, pulling the chest through. Work that for several breaths, and then maybe one foot, hamstring curl, maybe the other foot, hamstring curl, and pulling your chest forward, and equally pulling the feet to the head to the feet, okay? And so again, your feet might not come off the wall, right? Like you can have your feet at the wall. You can actually push your feet into the wall and use that to pull your chest more forward if that's the work for you.